tearing chunks out of each other. Actually, I think this summer is a time for the party to come back together again and to listen to those two platforms and to support our members, because ultimately it's the members.
I'm gutted, man. My favourite is out, and Boris Johnson's lackeys are left in.
To a lot of people in the right
And Boris Johnson's lackeys are left in.
and then he is getting towards the third parliamentary bullet to almost make it by a whisker onto the final two.
And it's quite redonkulous.
What do you think this says about her as a politician, and where should she be sort of positioned in any future Conservative government?
I think what was clear is that Penny had a really...
It's a big bit redonkulous.
People understood that she would be on their side. They understood that when they were facing challenges and problems, that she'd get it.
Sunak and
kind of politics that she
untrust
she was somebody that the public felt
is left in, and that is redonkulous, man.
So I think that's absolutely fantastic, and I hope that she is fully recognised by the winners as the incredible, effective and hard-working candidate and colleague that she is.
Just taking a step back from your association with her leadership campaign, she was the change candidate, if you like. She was the one who was the outside.
But I think it is ridiculous.
With this government in the same way. What do you think how does this look for the Conservative Party now that the two front runners are the Chancellor and the Foreign Secretary of Boris Johnson's government?
Look, both those colleagues are more than just the previous government, and clearly colleagues felt they put forward a really compelling argument, and that's what I want to focus on now. Which of those two candidates do I feel is putting forward the best possible vision for our country? But I think actually we have to move on from looking back at the last regime and focusing now on the future of the party.
Alicia Kearns, thanks very much for joining us. Alicia Kearns there supporting Penny Mordaunt, who is now no longer in the race to be Prime Minister. It will be Liz Truss and Rishi Sunak who will go to the members this summer.
Liz Untrust
thank you very much indeed
and a
again,
fucking
Lena.
Romulan.
I've just had a tweet in from Rishi Sunak saying,
it.
grateful that my colleagues
Loving it like that.
Deliver our message around the country. That's just in from Rishi Sunak, and is ready for Rishi campaign. Let's just talk to a couple of grassroots Conservatives. We've been talking so much in the last few weeks, haven't we, to Tory MPs here in the Palace of Westminster, but now it goes out to the wider Tory party membership, tens of thousands of them up and down the country. They're the ones with the critical votes now.
Now it goes out. Now you've got rid. Now it's just Bobo Johnson's lackeys that are left over. Fucking the Romulan
who is chair of the
and blow up sex doll.
Anna, to you first of all.
Honestly, that's what she looks like.
She got through to the final two. It was quite
I'm led to believe, not that I've ever seen a blow up sex doll.
I've been in a position as a young Conservative myself where I've been able to openly support any of the candidates. However, Liz Truss, out of those three candidates, was probably, I have to say, the best of a bad lot. So I am pleased she is through to the final two. The reason why I support her is because of her promises to cut taxes. I think especially what we've seen with them in the last 2 years, we're in an economic crisis like we've never seen before.
Well,
we have taxes.
I don't know if anybody's aware of this. This isn't just like them electing like who's King Dong of the Conservative Party. This is your new master. Or you, in fact, sorry. Let me get this right. This is your new master. If you didn't vote, your non-vote is counted as compliance. If you voted, you voted. But if you didn't hold your vote or declare yourself independent like myself, like Lord Houston, Lord Kip of the Clips.
People who are having their bills rising to an exponential level, and it's a result of all these lockdowns, coming in and out of lockdown, what we've seen over these last 2 years. And the last thing that people need right now is the taxes to go up, going up as well.
All right, that's your take. Area Conservatives, have you decided who you will vote for?
Look, I'm from Nottinghamshire, which is the Red Wall, and I've been talking to lots of members, and they're quite disappointed Kemi and Suella and people like that didn't quite make it into the final. I think what we now need to see from both of those candidates who are in the final, I agree with who's speaking now, is how we're going to cook to make residents better in the pocket, and what are we going to do to continue levelling the
leadership race. And we're talking about cost of living.
I suppose the defining issue of the campaign so far, in terms of what's been going on here in Parliament.
I'm just sick of
issue as well when it goes to wider membership. Do you think, Sam Smith?
All the apocalypses getting hijacked. Not that I don't agree with the causes and whatnot. It's like, when are you going to actually see somebody saying, I've got a card, it's a spade, I'm calling it a spade. I don't know if he's know that means, like, when will somebody actually call a spade a spade?
And it's pretty limited polling of the wider Tory party membership, people like yourself, shows that Liz Truss would quite easily beat Rishi Sunak, and in fact Penny Mordaunt would also have beaten Rishi Sunak. Do you think it's a foregone conclusion now?
No, I don't think so. I think, as I've been seeing throughout this whole race, I think anything could happen. I'm pleased to hear that Liz Truss is leading on those polls, because I think out of the two, despite her severe caveats, as that could happen as her with being a Prime Minister, I think out of her and Rishi Sunak, she would be the best choice for this country right now. But as I say, anything can happen in these upcoming
days. She sounds
days.
like she's got a cold.
People can change their mind, and I think that we shouldn't expect anything right now. I don't think we should be saying that it's a foregone conclusion. I think we need to see, what now.
Everybody's just trying to score points.
Sam Smith, do you think it's a genuinely open race despite some of that polling? Are you going to be, watching the leaders' debate, the contenders' debate on the BBC? Are you going to be listening to the various messages from Liz Truss and Rishi Sunak at the hustings that are going to be up and down the country? Because there isn't a lot of time, is there? I mean, the ballots are going out in early August. A lot of people are voting pretty early on in the next couple of weeks.
Seem quite good.
And I think, they've already had debates, and that's given members some views, and I've seen how the membership in Nottinghamshire shifted. As I say, originally most of them were back in Suella Braverman, and you've seen Kemi as well. And I think these hustings will...
I'm forever blowing bubbles.
We need to see
3-1. 3-1.
We've seen how important that
Rangers
is recently,
beating
but also
West Ham.
Immigration, the European Court of Human Rights has been a big part of the debate from a few
Bubbles
on where they stand on that, and where
this
they stand
is my favourite, to be honest.
Particularly in the north, and attracting red wall voters, and where they stand on protecting the green belt, and all sorts of things will come out. And I think
green belt is getting woven into this shit as well with these everybody. Why is everybody such a virtue signalling motherfucker?
Sam Smith and Anna McGovern, two Tory party members out there in the country.
I know why.
It's going to be a close run thing. It's all still to play for, they say. It's going to be fascinating.
This is going to be fascinating. So I'm going to say this and then get out of here.
Let's go back now to Layla inside the Palace of Westminster.
Everybody's a smart ass. Everybody. Depending on your age.
Vying for second place with Penny Mordaunt,
depending how smart arsey you may or may not be. And what I mean by that is everybody's got Google. And if you've got Google, you've got the answer to everything at your fingertips. So over the time, you've built up a bank of smart arse answers, whereas before you would have a hierarchy of like elders, and your Google would be your mum and dad and stuff like that. Now, everybody's a smart arse.
North and South to unite the party and to appeal across the country to win an election.
How much was down to the persuasion tactics of people like you?
That's the way everybody rolls nowadays, man. Everybody's... How much does that really matter? How, like the hours on the phone, mega smart ass. How important is that in a leadership campaign? People like you going around persuading people to vote for your preferred candidate?
Well, I'd say it's an interesting
because
everyone knows
Google
and works with all of the candidates, so we all know.
Shut up! I'm going to the toilet. Google
Penny
it.
ran an
I
incredibly
know
strong
everything.
campaign, and I pay tribute to her for that. But yes, colleagues will all talk to each other. We know colleagues, we've worked with them, we look at the
Listen,
ideas, we
they're
talk to each other.
saying the
And for
same.
my
Why
money,
am I going black
I
and
back
white?
Liz
Do I
because
go
believe
black
in
and
the
white?
programme she's advocated, and I was very happy to set that out to colleagues, and why I think that's the right way forward. But colleagues here, this is a sophisticated electorate. It's
God.
people have their own mood, their own views, their own reasons for doing things, and they'll look at all of these factors. But ultimately, there is one thing that will guide colleagues in their view, which is who do they think is the right and the best person to be Prime Minister of this country.
How do you think things are going to play out over the summer? We've got Rishi Sunak and Liz Truss going to be fighting it out over the summer. Is this going to be a civil campaign, do you think we're going to see between them?
Yeah, civil war, motherfucker, bring it on.
Very experienced, very able politicians, two very able cabinet ministers who have a clear determination to do what's right for this country, with different approaches, different nuances on how they would do that. But there's a clear opportunity there for people to interrogate the ideas. And as I say, for my money, Liz Truss is the right person to be doing that. But Rishi will be a very strong opponent. He's a very strong candidate. Either of them would make an excellent Prime Minister. And I think that's one of the great things about this contest, that either of them, or indeed the other candidates we've seen who were knocked out in previous rounds, they're very strong candidates. It shows the breadth of...
I've got a pet hate. I don't know if I do it myself.
Is she going to have to flesh
I'm going to
out
have
her
to
policy
check it
platform
out.
now? She's obviously
But it's
tried to
people
lay
that...
out some dividing lines between her and Rishi Sunak along the way. Probably mindful that it might well have been
A bit,
being the last two. Is she going to have to kind of put more meat on the bones of her policies now going forward for them?
Well, you've seen from both of these final two candidates the broad contours of their pitch to the party, what they would do to address the challenges we face. And I would expect as they go around the country, as they do hustings with members, as they speak to party members out and about, of course you'll see more detail emerging, I suspect, from both candidates on particular policy issues. It's been a very, very fast 10 days or so, and it's felt a lot faster. We've now got around 5 weeks where they will be going out, making their pitch to the country, and as I say, I believe that Lizzie's pitch, that she has the experience to lead from day one, and she's got that clear
up there,
plan,
done it.
that she's very strong on security and defence.
You still around, Mr. Badass?
I think that will be a very compelling pitch to party members in the country.
You're going back to your constituency for the summer, as are all MPs.
Mr. Badass, stick a thumbs up, because I know you want to.
Well, I will be talking to my fellow party members, and
I remember you,
Liz is the right person to lead our party and lead our country. I think on that basis, that positive platform she's set out. But you know, these are people who will have clear views. They'll think about it. They're a very thoughtful bunch of people, my association members and association members around the country, and they will look at both candidates very carefully. I'm clear in who I'm supporting, but they'll make up their own minds.
Ed Arga, thanks very much for joining us. Ed Arga there, very happy to see Liz Truss through to the final two. So we've got a summer of the Tory party membership being sort of bombarded by messaging about why Rishi Sunak or Liz Truss are the right person to lead them. The final electorate, if you like, between all the action that's been here in Parliament. Now it will go out across the country to the Tory MPs, to the Tory members, I'm sorry.
Indeed, Layla, thank you. And let's just analyse what we've seen today, really. I suppose we can think of it in terms of a horse race. That's the usual analogy anyway. And Conservative Party peer who was just talking to us was saying photos finish at the very end. And Rishi Sunak has been out in front all the way. He ended up with 137 votes. In the last round, Penny Mordaunt was just behind him. She was on 92 in second place and Liz Truss in third place. What happened in the very end, though, was that Liz Truss just overtook Penny Mordaunt.
Bullshit, man, it was a fix!
Eliminated. Most of her votes, most of her 59 votes, went to Liz Truss. She got
I want little Hitler Maggie Thatcher, and she's well going to be more
Mordaunt only got 13
bang for the bucks.
So what has happened is that Liz Truss has overtaken Penny Mordaunt, and it's her, Liz Truss, and Rishi Sunak who are the final two.
Right,
and they
man, you've got a fucking Romulan and a fucking sex doll.
And by the beginning of September, we'll know who is the new leader.
A boring Romulan, to say the least, and a boring sex fucking doll. A sex doll that's against sex stands up there and starts lecturing you about shit.
Result, and just to mark your card,
do what you want for your sex dolls.
On Trent, where the BBC will be broadcasting its programme about Britain's next Prime Minister, live debate between Liz Truss and Rishi Sunak. The first opportunity for viewers and indeed Conservative Party members to see the two of them face to face. We'll have that special programme next Monday evening. It's been broadcast on BBC One between 9 and 10. And we'll have all the build-up, all the analysis and all the coverage and reaction to what happens here on the BBC News channel. So I hope you'll be joining me for that. Now, in other news, prices are continuing to rise at their fastest rate for 40
In other
years.
news,
Higher fuel and
Bill,
food
that's it over.
UK inflation reached 9.4%
Make sure you thumbs it up, y'all.
the year to June, up from 9.1%.
Especially for the camera effect. Look,
calling for pay rises
no
to help
expense
workers
pay.
cope with the cost of living.
Have a good gin.
Inflation will reach 11%
catches
this
after.
year, and has also said that interest rates might have to rise.